So usually traditional lockers are being used in public setting like beach, amusement park, gym, and even school these days. And as we know that the old traditional locker is facing some variety of issues such as losing their keys, having stolen by others like thieves, forgetting passwords, their passcodes, and so on. And as a result of this, the locker owner will lose their money and assets. And in order to prevent this kind of issues and problems from happening, so and making for our locker owner easy to access the locker, so our group like introduce a smart lock fingerprint scanner locker to prevent this kind of issue happens.
For literature review, fingerprint door locker consists of some critical components need to have such as solenoid door lock, which use electromagnetic to latch and unlatch the door, fingerprint sensor, which has so many types such as R307, R305, and other, Arduino Uno R3, which is come with microcontroller by simply plugging into a computer with USB cable or power it with an AC to DC adapter of battery, IRFZ44 and MOSFET, which drive the microcontrollers, and lastly, 12-volt adapter, which provides power supply of 12 volt.
Okay, next I will talk about the development of alternatives and options for the project. Okay, the first one is the solenoid door lock. A solenoid door lock is a remote door locking mechanism that uses an electromagnetic solenoid to latch or unlock the door. So in here we have two options. The first one is DC 12 volt solenoid door lock and DC 624 volt solenoid electric cabinet lock. The size, operating voltage, and input current is different for both of them, and that's why we will do the decision after that. Okay, next we have fingerprint sensor. Fingerprints have become an ideal form of identification due to the vast number of possible combinations. Nevertheless, the clarity of a fingerprint image is measured in dots per inch or dpi. So here we have two types of fingerprint sensor. The first one is S608 fingerprint reader sensor, and the second one is FPC1020 smart padlock sensor. We will compare the characteristic of both sensor by its resolution, working voltage, and the fingerprint feature extraction time. Then we will decide which one is the best for our project. So lastly, we have microcontroller motherboard alternative. In here we have two Arduino microcontroller, which is Arduino Uno and Arduino Mega 2560. We will compare the clock speed, static random access memory or SRAM, and the flash memory for both of the microcontroller for our project. Okay, then we will go to the decision making process. This project's decision making is based on the pure concept selection process. This method is a quantitative strategy for ranking a set of multi-dimensional possibilities. It is commonly used in engineering to make the design decisions. So in here we have the term and the other option. We will look to the sum of pluses and sum of minuses of each chart. So for the solenoid door lock, fingerprint sensor, and microcontroller, we will use our datum as our option based on pure chart.
So I will be presenting on the final design of our mechatronic project. So as shown here is the prototype of the fingerprint sensor storage, where it consists of the fingerprint sensor and also the LED light. So for the LED light, the red LED light will be on unless the fingerprint sensor get the right fingerprint out input, which will turn on the green LED light later. So as shown in these slides, this is the arrangement figure of the components inside the storage box, where it consists of the Arduino Uno, breadboard, solenoid lock, and also the power adapter. So here is the first Arduino coding of our project, which is the fingerprint identifications, where the function of this coding is to identify the fingerprint sensor and assist the fingerprint sensor to scan and read the input of the fingerprint. So the data of the fingerprint will be stored in the Arduino coding, which it can be stored up to 127 fingerprint data. So this is the continuation of the fingerprint identification Arduino coding, where it consists of the void loop that will help in preventing all the problems that will face during the reading of the fingerprint input, such as the blurry image error, and also the error in finding the fingerprint and more. So this is also the continuation of the Arduino coding for the fingerprint identifications. So the next Arduino coding will be talking about the output of the fingerprint sensor, where it can function by detecting the correct input of the fingerprint in order to open the storage box. So when the input of the fingerprint is correct, it will trigger the solenoid lock to open and will turn on the green LED light. So at the same time, the red LED light that is on most of the time will be turned off when the correct fingerprint input is detected. So this is also the continuation of the fingerprint sensor output of Arduino coding, which also consists of the void loop that will help in preventing the problems faced during the scanning of the fingerprint. So that's all for my part. Thank you.
Most of the parts are low cost and widely available because we are utilizing simple electrical component for both simulations and prototype constructions. The project is considered cost effective. In this project, the male-to-male jumper, Arduino, Uno, and breadboards is excluded from the cost because we can get the component for free from Petrobot Cloud. The list of production costs of this project will be listed as table above. The prototype's production cost is Rm 100 ringgit and 30 cents, which is considered modest, but it can be reduced even more for mass productions. The cost of each original size unit will be higher than the capital cost as the prototype is scaled down. The suggested design applications area is designed for a firm, a university, and even boarding school. The proposed device should be recognized by the entire world and implemented in every lockers and door on the world. It is particularly cost-effective because fingerprint recognition is now a cost-effective security solution for a technology management standpoint. Small handheld scanners are simple to set up and provide excellent accuracy. Using fingerprint recognitions at work also adds a layer of accountability. It's difficult to disapprove biometric proof that you will present when a scenario or occurrence occur, and it can be used as evidence if necessary. The selected design for the fingerprint locker can be further analyzed based on the product internal strengths and weakness, as well as external opportunity and threat. As a result of the SWOT analysis, the biometric lock mechanism is difficult to grasp because of its intrinsic strength. As a result, criminals will be unable to get access to your homes or office. With fingerprint system, no one can readily hack the lock. Access that is not allowed will not be granted. Internal strength is difficult to change. You won't be able to substitute your fingerprints, making it difficult to gain access to your workplace or house if the lock are hacked and changed. In that situation, the entire lock must be replaced. Furthermore, external opportunity is a form of safety. This type of door is difficult to break into because no one will have your fingerprints. A person without your permission will never be able to enter your homes or office because of the designs of the locked door. One of the most significant advantages of fingerprint locks is this.
For suggestion area of improvement, on the top picture is the GSM module with Arduino, which it can send SMS alert to the user mobile number that is stored inside Arduino program if there is unrecognized fingerprint attempt to open the door. On the second picture shows an iris scanner, which it can be more efficient as it has less risk of failure recognition system. It can detect in any way if the user wearing glasses as long the user's iris is identified by the host.
Others can improve in the device in the projects in the feature of pre-installing it in house door, studio locker at school, and other areas that require increased protection. This allows fingerprint manufacturers to make sure that the fingerprint locker is secure by adding a code or pattern if the owner of the locker has a uncomfortable midship. As a result, we have a backup and will not rely just on the fingerprint. Aside from that, because there will be a few people staying in one residence, we will be able to recognize many fingerprints. As a result, having many fingerprints is preferable. It's simplest and more straightforward that way. Only the coding need to be adjusted. The coding can detect many input.